Hello guys, and welcome to the very first episode of Open Up with Devenish. So that's me. I'm your host, Devenish, whatever you want to call me. I decided to start this podcast because I have so many people coming to me for relationship advice, and I've always, wanted to do something like this, and it's lockdown and it's quarantine, and why not, right? I guess. Imagine me putting my hands up right now in that Indian style and being like, yep, So for my very first guest who will be helping me answer all your questions, I have my fiance. I have my fiance, Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, as you guys would know him. He is an Aquarius. You thought I was going to say footballer, but no, he's an Aquarius, and he's obviously India's goalkeeper, plays for Bengaluru FC, for those of you who maybe are following me for me. Anyways, I'm joking, but yeah, so we have him here. Hi Gurpreet, welcome to my podcast.
Hello. It's a pleasure to be a part of this podcast.
Yeah.
It excites me to be a part of this podcast. I had to have a coffee before this podcast, before Devenish asked me to be on it. Honestly, I'm very, very excited, and it's a privilege and an honor to be able to, listen to and read all these questions and maybe brush upon and give some advice to you guys from my own experiences, from Devenish and experiences.
Alright, so Gurpreet, how do you feel about being my very first guest on my podcast?
Honestly, I'm feeling good. I was a bit tired before and really like, why am I going to be the guest on this podcast first? But I think it's a good idea, especially knowing that I'm leaving soon. So to be a part of...
Wow, depressing.
I know, it is, but
alrighty.
It is good to be a part of your podcast.
And on that topic avoiding subject, alright, I think we're just going to get started right into it, guys. We have some really, really good ones. The first one that I'm going to start with, okay, I'm going to read it out. So here's what's been happening, is that I've been dating my boyfriend for about 2.5 years now, and I was telling him I'm buying a house soon, and it would be like my first investment. A couple of months passed, and he's been saying he wants to marry me, but I have to buy a house first, and then he'll marry me.
Wait. No.
And then,
No. You need to stop it.
No. We'll continue.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
This is.
I'm thinking that if he thinks I do buy the house, then it'll be under both our names if the marriage happens. What I'm not understanding is why I have to buy a property just so he can marry me. What if I flipped it on him and said, I'm not going to marry you until you buy a house? It's like a two-part problem. Why do I have to buy a house for this relationship to take the next step? It's almost like he's questioning my financial stability. Well, first of all, man, I just have to say congratulations to you for being in the process of taking that step of buying yourself a house for an investment. You have been working so hard, grinding, hustling. That is incredible. So all props to you. But so I have a lot of thoughts on this, to be very honest with you, and I think Gurpreet does as well. Since you're my guest of honor today, it is my first podcast. You know what I'm going to let you do? I'm going to let you.
Of course, you need
I'm going to let you go.
You need
first,
to let
okay?
the guest.
Yeah. Good manners. We have good manners on this show.
Firstly, I want to thank you for the question. I know it's not very easy to open up. I think it's a good job that you've tried to share this with us. Firstly and foremostly, the statement where your partner says that you need to buy a house before you can get married is totally absurdly wrong. It just bothers me so much.
My
sitting
shoulders
here
tense.
I'm sitting 12,000 kilometers away.
We don't know where she is. She could live down in my street.
Maybe, but it's
geolocation.
It's giving me I have a nerve popping up on the side of my head. So as a partner, what I would do is, I would love to support that kind of decision. Or, for example, if Devenish wants to do it, or vice versa. You don't put conditions in a relationship. The moment you put conditions in a relationship, that means there's something wrong. And it's good that you're recognizing it. You should take a stand up for it. You can't be treated like that.
And I honestly think that you've hustled and obviously worked your ass off to get yourself something. And honestly, nobody likes to hear this and nobody likes to say this. And I'm just going to come in here with the practical advice, okay? And my practical advice is always, like, I've studied law as well. Protect yourself. Protect your assets, because unfortunately people change. You might change for the worse, he might change for the worse. Like, you just don't know. In this situation, yes, we like to think that in marriage, what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. Yeah, we get that. I mean, that works if you're both kind of hustling and both contributing towards a house that you are both going to live in. But if this is going to be an investment property that you have worked your life,
but this is a huge red flag. They haven't been married yet, and you have just been together for 2.5 years. I don't
understand why you have to prove financial stability to him. I don't understand that. You clearly are financially stable if you can get there and get a house on your own. That just speaks volumes.
He needs to
so
check
what
himself.
else do you need? Like, and the thing is, like, it's your choice. If you want to get a house, you want to get a house. If you don't want to get a house, you don't want to get a house. If you want to go down to Louis Vuitton tomorrow and get yourself like a new bag or something like the way I want to do next week, then that's what your choice is. But that does not prove if you're financially, you don't need to prove to anybody if you're financially stable or not. And the thing is, like, in a relationship, like, I understand you don't want to be with somebody who's financially reckless either. I get that completely. You don't want to be with someone who's going to be a liability or, just be horrible to you and use that as a way of controlling you. But at the same time, you don't want, like, it shouldn't be a competition. And I feel like your partner's low-key is being competitive with you. And, like, that's the vibe that I get. But
tell him, okay, here's the thing, okay? I'll tell you one advice. Tell him that you're going to buy the house.
But it'll be under your name.
It's
like,
gonna
that's
be
it,
under
point blank.
your name. That's it. If he wants to marry you, then it's something that he has to work for. You don't have to prove him something by buying a property. As simple as that. If you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for the marriage. You're not doing it for him. Okay. If he wants to do something for you, that's his choice. If he wants to buy a house in which you two have to live, that's his choice. Okay, you shouldn't have a sword hanging on your neck saying that you have to buy a house for us to get married.
Get married.
That's something which is unacceptable.
I have to say I completely agree with everything that Gurpreet has said.
I hope everything works out for you, but please don't give up.
Whatever you do, like, he might, and the thing with relationships is that he might grow up and mature in a month's time, in 2 years' time, in 3 years' time, and be like, you know what, I understand where you're coming from. You might have the happiest future together. Like, you definitely might have that, and he might realize, like, oh shit, I was a bit of an idiot for thinking like this before.
But I wouldn't recommend anything else.
You can't risk that. So before you get married, if you buy the house, keep it in your name. It's not going under both of your names, and just make up an excuse, man. Just be like, listen, the capital gain tax are lower if it's just me.
No, you can't make an excuse. Just be very...
I don't know.
Why...
Okay, maybe don't make the excuse.
Yeah, why make the excuse? Just be honest and... say what it is. Why make an excuse?
And let nobody question your financial stability.
You're working for your own and you're making something on your own. You don't need to answer anyone.
Tell him
and make excuses. Legit. Yeah. Simple as that. If not, then you need to seriously question your future with this person. If there's no kind of support for your decisions, then seriously, you need to think about it.
And the thing is, you can always, like, I'm a big believer of, like, you can always say these things in a really, like, nice way too. If you want to. If you want to, you don't have to. But you can always sit there and be like, like, I'm kind of deferring this. I don't want to do it right now. It's not the time for me. It's not the time for me. And if he's like, why isn't it the time for you? Are you not financially stable to do this? You can be like, actually, yes, I am. And that's completely fine. I've got it all covered. How are you doing, though? How's your finances? Since you seem to be looking into mine a lot, okay? Mind your own business. We're not engaged. We're not married. Please stay out of it. No, you don't have to say the last bit, obviously. But I reckon, yeah, I hope that helped. I just want to also add that we are not licensed relationship therapists. This is just our
but it's
intake.
common sense. Yeah, it's common sense. Why do something in which you don't have any dignity and you don't have any value for yourself in a relationship? That shows. If you, Bobby, had told me that okay, you need to buy a house for us to get married, I would feel that I have no value in this relationship and I'm just a laborer or a slave.
But I also think he's asking her because he's trying to prove that she's financially stable. And I just think,
who is he, Prime Minister or something?
He's not your like bank lender. Is he giving you? See, the thing is
he a loan officer?
Is he your loan officer? Are you gonna march down there and be like, hey, these are my bank statements. Am I financially stable now?
It's not like you are applying for a visa to go to the US.
He's not giving you the money to do it. You don't have to prove shit to him. Just like literally say that shit and be like, oh, sweetie, I didn't know that you became like my mortgage officer. When did you start this new job, darling?
I think it's a good advice for her to know. And
thank you so much for writing in,
and
I hope we were able to help. We had to have a little bit of a kombucha and water break after that one. I've got the next question. Okay, so here goes. Been with my girlfriend for 1.5 years now. She is a pothead. Absolutely adores smoking weed and does that several times during the day. Earlier, I thought I could overlook this little aspect of her. I did make it known to her that I don't appreciate this and that she has taken it well. She has reduced it, but still has a long way to go. We have our usual quarrels about her smoking habit. From daily, I could say it has come down to alternate days now, but I believe it's straining our relationship. I adore her. She is too good of a person and I don't want to lose out on her, but only this aspect of her being dependent on weed. Would like to know your thoughts and share my regards to Gurpreet Baji. Sup? And their star signs are, this guy is a Pisces and she's a Scorpio. Great pairing, by the way. I have to say, very compatible pairing.
That's Baba Bobby for you. She knows everything about
very into
zodiacs and stuff like that. What I mean, it's a very different kind of question that I've come across regarding relationships, but
yeah, it's very interesting. Thanks for sending that in.
Yeah, it is very similar to a lot of things that old relationships, like my parents' age, people go through when, especially when women get married into families and to men who have a drinking problem, basically. They are, heavy drinkers, alcoholic, every single day drinking and stuff like that, which affects and strains the relationship. But this is something which is very different. It is something, which also affects the health. I know, smoking is not good for health, and too much of anything, in my opinion, is not good, even if it's something good for the body.
Healthy, yeah.
So I mean, it's important to recognize that and work towards it. Obviously, it's a very difficult thing to do, and it's great that you adore your partner and you want to be
really cute
with her. But also, it's important that you don't suffer a lot, it's important for your mental health as well, that you don't make yourself go through such a hectic and such a exhausting thing, because it's not fair on you as well, because someone else's decision of doing something to their body shouldn't be affecting your mental health.
See, from what I know about Pisces, is people with Pisces placements, yes, it's going into astrology. People with Pisces placements, they tend to be more givers, and they tend to be a bit more into the air when it comes to like their emotions and relationships, and they're a bit more tolerant than I would say other signs. Your partner's relationship as a Scorpio, that's a very introspective sign. So, but honestly, star signs aside, all I know is often people, like, not just people with like weed dependencies, but just anyone with any dependency on anything, like if they're doing, like, it can literally be exercise, food, alcohol, weed, drugs, like, you know, gaming, like all of these things, often they're an escape from something in reality, or a way to just process their emotions and feelings. So maybe it seems like you really adore your partner, and that's really cute, but I have a twofold response basically. The first thing is that, like, for the benefit of your partner who really likes their weed, I'm not going to sit here and demonize weed. First of all, I think each their own. I respect everybody's choices, that's fine, but you are in a relationship with this person. So when you're in a relationship with that person, and if it makes you uncomfortable, if things are not changing, you have to kind of draw the line and be like, you know what, like, I don't want to put up with this shit for the rest of my life. Do you know what I mean?
Have to have a boundary.
You can't just sit there and be like, shit, man, here we go. She's whipping out the pipe again, bloody, a few more puffs and into like Greenland, all the marijuana cloud around her. Like, is that really what you want to be dealing with for the rest of your life? Because it sounds like you don't. And the thing is, there are going to be so many people who are like, yeah, let me sit down and like hook up the pipe and light a fire underneath it and go into the clouds with you, my friend. There are heaps of people like that. And so it could be that, like, because weed is definitely, and I'm not putting or judging anybody, I'm just putting my spin on it, but weed is a lifestyle choice. Like, that's your choice, man. Like, there's a whole culture about it. But for you, if it's something that you really feel like long term, I can't actually put up with this shit, and long term, she doesn't want to give up that lifestyle, like, it seems like either one of you adapts or it's gonna end. Sounds really freaking morbid, okay? But it is. When it comes to these things, when no one is budging or changing much, that's why relationships break and breakups happen, okay? And yeah, but the first thing that I would address with that is be like, hey, listen, I think you need to maybe speak to somebody about this.
Yeah.
What's going on? Are you using it to hide some deep, you know, intense pain that you're feeling every day? Like, what, you know,
obviously it'll suck if
maybe she just likes weed, man.
Yeah, obviously,
that's just what it is. Like, bounce.
Obviously, it'll suck if he has to compromise, and she doesn't give up weed.
You know what? As a professional athlete,
yeah.
How do you? Because he's I think he said in his thing, he's a pro athlete as well. He plays sport.
Oh, that bugs you even more than if your partner is.
Yeah, because I remember reading that.
Yeah. I mean, if you're
from your perspective, how would that make you feel?
Really, it's gonna get on my nerve, honestly, because I follow such a, you know, healthy regime and very rigid and strict lifestyle. And if you see that your partner is totally doing the opposite and trashing her life, then it's something very hard to see and bear. And it becomes very difficult. And plus, it shouldn't be something that you should control about your partner. But definitely, there's a line to it, to a certain extent where it starts to become unhealthy. You know, that's what I think should be recognized over here, even if you're an athlete or you're not an athlete.
I feel like, yeah, I agree.
There's a certain extent to it. If you think that it's going over it, I don't think it's very healthy to compromise on your partner doing it every single day, you know, multiple times a day, because it's not something you will be happy with.
I also feel like, okay, that with things like this, I feel like a lot of people that, obviously there is going to be so many people that enjoy weed recreationally, like they do alcohol. That's just what it is. but every second day seems like it's a bit of a dependence. I'm not a like professional, so please, okay, I have no like MBBS, I have no nothing about like this shit.
But it's common
But
sense.
it's just
It's
my
common
perspective.
sense.
You wrote into me, so you're gonna get my response.
Yeah, but it's common sense.
Yeah.
If a person is drinking green tea, for example, oh yeah, my partner, she drinks green tea every single day.
I drink green tea every day, but
but you have about 5 green teas a day. Okay, that too is unhealthy. It is something because it's
but
over the
thing is,
extent.
with like, and that's why I'm saying like, what you might want to do is just talk to your partner and be like, listen man, like I feel like you're going through some shit like every second day. It's the same like marijuana cloud like hanging about your like head. I'm sick of looking into your red eyes. Like, you know what I mean? So you can sit there and just ask, be like, what's going on? And then it is your choice if you want to stick by and help rehabilitate this person into more healthier weed consumption. That's completely your choice, because that shit takes so much out of you. And like you said, you're an athlete and you need to also focus on your career and your life, but at the same time relationships are also important. But you are not anybody's dad, and you are, and Pisces have placements, have these things where they like to rescue and save, and so it's not your responsibility. It's not your job. But the fact that you want to sit there and help her and tolerate it is freaking lovely. Your partner has a great gem of a person beside them, but at the same time, like,
I think you just need to sit down, have this conversation, draw a line and be like, okay, this is it, this, and if it's something that you can't work towards, then you have to think about your future, because you don't have to sit there and basically coach someone out of
you need the coaching, you don't need to coach. Ooh, athlete pun, a sport pun.
I brought it up.
Sport pun. But yeah, that's just what it is. But good luck to you, man.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you so much for your question. And like we said, we're not licensed professional at all, but this kind of seems like it needs licensed professional intervention, because for some people it's weird, for other people it's gaming. Yeah, I would like to sit there and play The Sims 4 every day of my life and not have a job and not be involved in my relationships, but I don't, okay? Because I can't. But yeah, thank you so much. So this is going to be an interesting one. How to handle the drama between my girlfriend and my family.
Evergreen question.
So this is from a male who's writing this in. So I'm an Indian guy and I honestly feel like they're getting a little insecure. I'm unable to balance everything, just ends in a fight, and I'm sandwiched. Smiley face. He's really like, at this point, he's like, he's about to collapse. I think you're an Australian born Desi. I think, ask Gurpreet, haha. I'm just not someone who can stop giving an F. I can't. Not that person. Hashtag realization. Thanks for the hashtag. Okay. My guest, please.
See, the question itself is very incomplete, in my opinion. First of all, thank you for your question. Yeah, but first of all, thank you for your question. It's a very incomplete question. I know you tried your very best to send this question. I can understand that you being sandwiched between the drama of your partner and your parents. It's very hard to judge if it's a good drama or it's a bad drama. Usually drama is bad, especially with Indian parents. They are very smothering of course they are very smothering to especially Indian males. They like to smother the shit out of them.
Where's the lie?
Be very intrusive and very inclusive in the life, in all the decisions that an adult should make on their own. Indian parents usually are very into it, and if you have a very independent partner, it makes life very difficult, because your partner wants you to do things your own way, but when they see that there's inclusion from your family side, it bugs them. And if your family sees that your partner is too much in your life and making you decide things, then it's drama from their side. So that's what I feel like is the drama about.
It's literally Pavitra Rishta, like the whole storyline of Pavitra Rishta.
It's something
but it's real life for all of us.
So I'm just going to tell you this one bit of small advice. It's very important to draw a very thick line of boundary.
He said thick, not thin.
Yeah.
Woo!
Someone closed the door. A very thick line between how much your parents should be involved in your life and how much they shouldn't. Of course, your partner has a very, healthy space in your life, because you're going to live with the partner, you're going to spend time with her and stuff like that. You plan your life and all these things. So they have a big chunk of that kind of thing. But it's important that your parents also realize that you are a grown man, you're a grown adult, you have your own life, you have your own decisions to make. So they can just sit on the sidelines and, appreciate and applaud their kid.
Here's the real tea. There's a big cultural change and shift that is happening with our generation that has really changed from the previous generations. We're getting much more independent. We're getting much more individualistic. We're getting much more vocal and assertive with who we are and how we want to live our lives. And especially I feel like in the Desi community, that conversation is happening, but it's harder because those cultural roots that are so deeply tied with our family.
The parents don't accept.
It's hard. Yeah. It's like a generational gap times two, because we're accelerating and being individual on a completely much faster speed, Look, all I have to say with that is I think there's a relationship that you can have. I think the amazing thing with Indian culture is that we're all so close and tight with our family, but the shit that does come from that is often it's unhealthy and there's boundaries. That's why we have so many Pavitra Rishta is going on its 30th consecutive series, alright? Because the thing is, because that is all family drama. If that does not tell you that there needs to be boundaries, literally Pavitra Rishta could have been ended on the third episode if someone was hey, I'm just asserting my boundaries, I hope that's okay with everybody. Cool, peace out, bye.
But they don't want to. They want to have the drama. They
want the 3 camera angles and they're dun 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 dun. I like that shit too, okay?
Yeah.
But not 29 seasons long.
Kya bola?
Yeah.
Kya bola?
Like in Namaste London. But okay, in all seriousness, there can be a fine line, man. You can have an amazing relationship with your family, but you can also kind of prioritize what ends up happening, dude. When you get married with your partner, you don't forget your parents, you don't forget your siblings, you don't forget your family, but you also have to start kind of being well, shit, this is my partner, I'm gonna be married to them for the rest of my life. I'm gonna, if I want to have kids with them, I'm gonna have kids with them as well. And unfortunately, the reality is that the hope is that you grow old with your partner and you outlive your parents. That's what they hope for you, and that's what you
see. Also the thing now is good that you mentioned the cultural shift. In my opinion, before in my parents and their parents' times, the thing was only one of the 2 people were independent and educated and could do things properly.
Traditionally, and that was the male.
Yeah. And nowadays, in today's generation, both partners are equal. Both of them work. Both of them are independent. Both of them
not completely. Obviously, we are still fighting a good fight. But
yeah, but it's something which has improved over time. But the people who are your parents, and a lot of people's parents are still stuck in that generation, in that mentality.
It's dependence on the son.
You have to, respect. You need to live together. We need to stay in one house. You need to come and cook roti. You need to,
I completely agree with that. And that idea is very central on very old archetypes about the man's role in society and a woman's role, especially in Indian society.
Trust me, it comes down to that. If you go to the root of it, it will come down to that.
Yeah, that the son always has to stay tethered to their parents and their family, because the son ultimately becomes a provider for the family, and then becomes a provider for his family, and then becomes one big integrated unit, because the son is the financially mobile or financially independent, and the wife or whoever male third gender that they bring in, that they are like also someone who just facilitates the husband's life, the son's life. We're not doing that shit anymore, man. We're really trying hard not to do that shit anymore. There's a lot of shit that's happening like in the world about how we're not trying to live this life. So I reckon when you're feeling sandwiched between like your parents and your partner, you're gonna be with your partner for like the rest of your life. Like, touch wood, hopefully that's what it is. Make sure that respect does exist though between your partner and
even
your
if your
family.
partner changes, if things go wrong.
But the thing is, like, you can't have, in my opinion, a healthy relationship where the priority is not known. I don't think that can be a healthy relationship. I don't think any person should be made to feel that they are competing for their family's, like competing with their family to be a priority. The fact that this issue exists in your relationship is really problematic. You should work on it. And I think
it's not good to stand on the sidelines and feel like, oh, I'm sandwiched, can't do anything.
Yeah.
I
Sorry,
think it's
man, this is going to
to
seem like a bit of a roast to you, but we're just giving it how it is. Like, it's real.
You need to stand up, make sure that you're heard, and have asserted your boundaries on both sides.
And the thing is, you don't have to sit there and start doing like, literally pavitra rishta and go to the doorstep of like your parents or your family and be like, I'm asserting my boundaries. You don't got to do that shit. You can literally like do it with action. You can make your partner feel more comfortable. You can make your partner feel more loved. You can make your partner feel more included. Maybe when you guys are all hanging out, you can be a bit more doting towards your partner if you guys are all hanging out as a family. I don't know the stage of your relationship. You didn't give me much to go on, bro. But like, maybe you can do all of that. You know what I mean? Like, work on your relationship, make your partner feel more at ease, and make your partner be like, you are always my one and only John Shah Rukh Khan, level poetry. Print out some gulzar and be like, this is what I feel for you. There's an issue, I think, also fundamentally where just maybe your partner feels insecure and does not feel loved. Address that. Work on it. Make her feel more loved. If she's still doing that shit, she needs to work on herself. And
next time, send a much more detailed question, because then we can give you a
better...
better...
Yeah, because it's really hard.
Because we are just assuming over here.
Now it's just ended in a roast.
It's just an assumption.
No, we're joking. But thank you so much for sending in your question. But yeah, don't stop giving a fuck. You seem like a really good person and a really good partner, and we hope it all works out for you. And this is something, most importantly, when it comes to conflicts between family and partner in the dating community, this is shit that can be fixed. This is shit that's very simple, that's very easy, and it just requires some extra TLC for your partner and extra TLC for your family. That's all it is. You need to facilitate positive, good vibes between everybody, but that comes down to you. Thank you so much. So we're gonna do the last question for this podcast. All right. I like this one. There's an Egyptian girl. She's Muslim. I'm Hindu. We both like each other a lot. We fight. That's okay. We were dating online, but the thing is, I went offline and was constantly annoyed by her. I'm not a great texter, but in real life, we'll do anything to get her back. But the thing is, she's Muslim. I don't know what to do. She says it's haram. I really don't know how to win her back. I really miss her to be my girl. I really don't know what to do. You can say my first name in the podcast if you like. Rest is up to you. Thanks, guys. And that was in from Shubham. Thank you, Shubham, for sending us in. I love this question. It just, I don't know.
I wish it didn't.
I like your little Veer Zara situation you've got going on.
Yeah, but I wish it didn't, like, I wish you didn't mention religion. Because it's a very sensitive topic for me. Like, No, I understand
your advice.
Yeah, I understand she's Egyptian, you're possibly Indian, from what I can see. I don't know why, like,
If you guys get married, oh my god, the food.
Yeah, I don't know why religion came up in your mind. It's
because religion is a barrier for lots of people, and that's valid.
Of course it is. And that's what I'm trying to say. It shouldn't be a barrier for two people to talk, and I hope it isn't. I hope things between your Zara and you, Veer, work out, because it seems like you guys are, very into it and like to talk with each other. And please make sure that you know what has gone wrong, because it's very, very important to look in the mirror and look at...
Why did you disappear?
Yeah. Look in the mirror. Talk to yourself. What was I thinking? Where did I go? I should have come back. Maybe I should have charged my phone. Maybe I should have put some credit in my phone. And not go offline. Because my Zara is gone now. And now you're looking online here and there. So Shubham, you shouldn't be doing this. Is your loss, to be honest, from what I can see.
No, we're not roasting anybody.
No, I mean...
No, they've written so sincerely.
Come on, man. You're online and you're talking and then you go offline. What is this?
Are you by any chance an Aquarius?
Huh? क्या घर का वाईफाई बंद हो गया था क्या? क्या है ये? Offline as in you just went offline and didn't come up for 1 month.
Did he go outside and cut all his internet lines?
No, offline. See, by offline I mean he's saying that it went cold, the conversation. He disappeared for a month or two. And
you must be an Aquarius, I'm telling you.
If you did that, mate, it's your problem. You should look at why you did that. It's a very...
Don't do that again.
Yeah, now you're blaming her to disappear because you disappeared.
I'm so angry.
So now both of you are disappeared.
I feel angry for her. Anyways, but the religion and Muslim,
of course,
that's a big one. Yeah,
I hope it doesn't come up again, because my friend, nothing should stop two people, be it religion. I know it's a very sensitive topic for a lot of people, and it is something very, very important for a lot of people in terms of life-making decisions. I just feel like in today's life, in today's generation, when a pandemic doesn't think about religion before attacking people, why should you think about religion before loving people? So think about it, and please stay safe, and please stay online, work on your internet, and make sure your phone is charged all the time.
Yeah, honest. Don't even get me started. Okay. I feel like I genuinely agree with that. However, I will empathize and say that it's so hard, especially when you come from a Hindu family. I myself am a Hindu. I myself am Hindu, and so I completely understand growing up in a family, especially that really stresses the importance of not marrying into a religion outside of your own. Completely empathize with that. And honestly, unfortunately, what we hear in a lot of Hindu households is that don't marry a Muslim, because there's a lot of blood between that, and that whole shit is so controversial. We don't need to get into that. This is not a political podcast, okay? I'm just not doing that. But in my opinion, I would think about a few things. How long have you been talking to this person for? And not including the time
not long enough. I mean, they went offline.
Not including the time that you ghosted this person, you probable Aquarius. How long have you been talking? Is it worth to salvage and run for that? And the second thing I think is that it's long distance. What is the plan to get each other from either India to Egypt or Egypt to India? Also, where does she live in Egypt? Because this sounds so cool.
Make sure it's a real person. Okay.
Obviously it is. I hope you but I just feel
because nowadays with all this internet stuff, you don't even know.
Religion and shit is not that important in a relationship, but to some people it is, and I respect that. If it's just your family who is going to be the obstacle, then who cares? But really, when it comes to religion and your family, don't worry about it.
But you need to be very careful with.
But if she's the one that's saying that it's haram and all of this crap, but look what she's saying to you. She's saying that she thinks it's haram. You know?
That means
it seems like she's just kind of not in it already. I just feel like, to be very honest with you, this is kind of a situation
Mate,
where
you need
I'd
to
cut
think
my
about
losses
your
and I'd go.
safety, you know.
Because I don't see you saying stuff like, oh, like, I don't want to, blah, 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 this and that. I don't see...
Think
but
about
I see,
your safety.
Yeah, I see her being like, you know, it's haram. But...
You know
throughout
how
all
many
of it.
cases in India happen like this when a Hindu or a Muslim are trying to be with each other and the family is the one who, you know, slaughters one of them?
Yeah,
So be careful, man.
Unfortunately, this is just the reality.
Yeah.
Just be very careful for
I
your
understand
safety.
that there's
but
some-
that should not stop love. If at the end of all of this, if she's able to overcome her hesitations with it being haram and with it being all of that, if she's able to overcome that, and if you're able to overcome the religious aspect, then go for it. Honestly, because nothing should come in the way of love. No distance, no religion, no culture. If you guys love each other, if this is the one, go for it, man. But honestly, just think about it very seriously. I feel like you give me Libra vibes. Think about it very, very seriously before you commit to anything, before you start fighting. Get to know this person more if you haven't already. Get to know this person more, and just be really careful, okay? And prioritize love, and please, for the love of God, don't disappear on this person again, okay? Just, if you can, just manage not disappearing first and not being annoyed by her. See, that's the other thing. What's annoying you about her that you go and disappear offline? What is that?
Maybe she's texting
explore
him too
that
much.
first. Explore that first. Maybe you're just not compatible.
She wants
in that way.
attention. Maybe she's a Leo.
I felt that because I am a Leo.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
What?
That's why I said it.
So you think I'm
Because-
annoying?
No, I said maybe because you want attention.
So you think I'm annoying?
That's what you think. I don't think that.
Okay, good. I mean, he's just saying that because... Okay.
Anyways, I think that was a very good question, good advice from our side, best we could do. Thank you for your question.
Like I said again, guys, do not take all of this to complete heart.
Yeah,
we are just giving
it's
our...
just conversation.
We are just giving our opinion, our perspective.
Doesn't mean it's a thing you have to follow. It's not a law passed by both of us.
Just continue our thing. Like, this is what we said, you know? But thank you so much for sending me all your questions. I'm going to do a part dos.
Spanish है तुम हैं?
I said
बड़ा
do.
दोस्त
I
भी-
said it in Hindi. Excuse me.
खुद को स्पेनिश समझती हो तुम?
Excuse me, I am not, first of all. And secondly...
दो बोलो दो. Part 2. Part 2 will be there. It was a pleasure joining you, Devenish, on this
Thank you
podcast
so much.
as a guest, first
Thank you.
guest on
Thanks.
a podcast. I hope it goes really well. I will be keeping in touch from my home country when I go back, and I'll be listening to all your podcasts. Thank you so much for all your questions, my friends.
You're welcome.
Please take care and love you all.
So I do hope that you all enjoyed my podcast for this week. Thank you so much for writing into me with all your personal questions. I know we sit, we joke, and we laugh, but it's all very well-meaning advice. You do not have to take it at all. But thank you so much for writing in. It means a lot. I hope you guys got a... Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
I hope that you guys got a kick out of it and that just made your week a little bit better just listening to our crap. And that's it from me. Thank you so much. Please tune in next week for part 2 of this podcast, where we will be answering more of your questions. Thanks so much, guys. Please stay safe during this pandemic. Wear a mask when you're outside and practice good hygiene. Bye, guys. Love you. Stay safe.